Long ago, in the heart of Brazil, a dark story began to spread from generation to generation, whispered by elders around firesides and in the quiet of the countryside. It is the legend of the Corpo Seco, the dried body, one of the most chilling figures in Brazilian folklore. Unlike other legends that carry an air of magic, mystery, or even a touch of charm, the Corpo Seco embodies only the darkest side of human nature, the terrible fate of a soul that lived without love, without compassion, and without kindness. They say that in life, the Corpo Seco was a cruel man, someone incapable of showing mercy or tenderness. He was a hardened soul who delighted in the suffering of others and spread misery wherever he went. Some versions claim he went as far as mistreating his own parents, insulting neighbors, abusing animals, and never once feeling remorse for his actions. There was no kindness in his gestures, no light in his words, only bitterness and cruelty. When death finally came, no one mourned him, and his body was laid to rest in the ground as any other. But his fate would not be that of ordinary men. When his soul attempted to pass on, it was rejected by both heaven and hell. The realm of light refused him because he had never known goodness in life. The abyss turned him away because his essence was so vile that even darkness itself could not endure his presence. Neither side claimed him, and so he was forced to remain in the world of the living, bound eternally to his own corpse. Thus, the figure of the Corpo Seco was born, a restless being, without peace, without rest, condemned to wander forever, a reminder of the destiny that awaits those who devote their lives only to malice. The Corpo Seco is described as a grotesque figure, a body shriveled by time, with skin stretched tight against bone, resembling a mummy, but far more horrific. His flesh seems drained, leaving only wrinkled skin, sharp bones, and hollow eyes that glow faintly in the darkness. His voice is said to be deep and cavernous, more like a breath from the grave than human speech, chilling the blood of those who hear it. He roams aimlessly, dragging his feet, carrying the stench of decay, an odor that warns of his approach long before his figure appears. Some say the Corpo Seco hides deep within forests, lurks around abandoned cemeteries, or lingers near lonely riversides. He appears at night, when shadows grow thick, waiting for those who dare to walk alone. In some tales, he seeks to steal the life force of travelers, draining their energy as if feeding on the fear and vitality of the living. Others believe his power grows stronger the more terror he spreads, as though he survives by feasting upon dread itself. Stories of encounters with the Corpo Seco vary, but all share the same chilling tone. Some claim to have seen him standing motionless in the distance, his sunken eyes glowing faintly, watching without blinking. Some say he vanishes like smoke when approached. Others swear he follows them, step by step, never running, but never falling behind, as if the distance between hunter and prey could never be closed. Those who fled in terror insist they heard his dragging footsteps behind them long after the path was empty. There are tales, too, of curses that follow his presence. Animals grow restless when he is near. Dogs bark frantically at unseen figures, horses rear in fear, and even the trees seem to bend unnaturally as though recoiling from his shadow. The silence of night is broken only by the brittle sound of leaves being crushed and branches snapping beneath invisible feet. Perhaps the most terrifying part of the legend is not the figure itself, but the meaning behind it. The Corpo Seco is more than just a monster. It is a symbol, a warning. It represents the punishment of those who live without love, who fail to respect life, nature, or their fellow human beings. It is the reminder that cruelty leaves scars, and that one cannot escape the consequences of a life built on malice. The Corpo Seco is what remains when humanity is lost. A soul trapped in a corpse, unable to move on, rejected by both salvation and damnation. On nights of the full moon, elders warn not to wander alone along deserted roads. They advise against cutting through cemeteries, walking forest paths, or approaching riversides under cover of darkness. For these are the places where the Corpo Seco is most often said to appear. If one hears dragging footsteps in the silence, or feels an icy shiver when no wind blows, it is best never to turn around. Some believe that meeting his gaze can sap a person's strength, bringing illness or even madness. Even today, people in the countryside swear they have felt his presence. Old men insist they have seen the figure hunched under twisted trees, silently watching. Others tell of a cold hand brushing their shoulder at night, only to find no one there when they turned. These stories live on, multiplied by fear and imagination, whispered from one generation to the next. The legend of the Corpo Seco is, at its core, a tale of morality. It shows that a life of cruelty and hate may condemn a soul to a fate far worse than death itself. Unlike other Brazilian legends where creatures serve a role in nature or in teaching balance, the Corpo Seco exists only as a warning of what happens when everything human is lost. It belongs neither to the world of the living nor to the realm of the dead, forever trapped in between. And so, on every silent night, on every lonely road, in every shadow cast deep in the forest, the question lingers: is the Corpo Seco watching, waiting, ready to remind us that no evil goes unpunished? It is this uncertainty that keeps the legend alive, sustained by fear, by memory, and by the chilling thought that perhaps one day, in the dark, someone might not escape his gaze.